3 decades after the end of the Cold War. Can the United States and China find a formula, again, for at least avoiding conflict, be it over Taiwan or something else, and ideally for cooperating?
Welcome to CCG Global Dialogue. So I think the U.S. has to think about, what is the most urgent issue, rather than still forming IPAF and all those Quad and AUKUS, really aiming at China. So I think China probably was a defensive move.
U.S.-Chinese relations have deteriorated significantly in recent years and decades. But I still believe we have something of a shared common interest in managing our differences. And at a minimum, the two countries have a shared interest in not seeing the differences slide into conflict. And more optimistically, more positively, the two countries have potentially a shared interest in seeing the two governments, the two countries cooperating where there might be some agreement. And so that to me is that's the challenge for diplomacy for the United States and China. How do we, at a minimum, avoid the worst? We see a China that is less open politically and economically and more assertive in its foreign policy. So there's disillusionment in the United States with the course of U.S.-Chinese relations. So the question, though, arises, here we are 3 decades after the end of the Cold War. Can the United States and China find a formula, again, for at least avoiding conflict, be it over Taiwan or something else, and ideally for cooperating, for example, to cooperate on a challenge like North Korea, or cooperate on a challenge like Iran, or on climate change, or infectious disease, or Ukraine. And so far, the results are not promising. The results are disappointing.
I think that we really have to manage. I think, if there's always a pro-action on the U.S. side and the react on the Chinese side, I mean, that's going to really escalating things up. And so let's calm down, and hopefully, when the two sides senior officials meet, they will try to figure out what to do.
We obviously just had the meeting in Bali between President Xi Jinping and President Biden. We have the upcoming trip of Secretary of State Blinken to China. So we'll see. We'll see what comes of this renewed interaction, this renewed face-to-face diplomacy.